and things like it is the equivalent of the red pill.
This is a technology, it's a computing language, and I can build an app on it.
Is Bitcoin the currency of the future?
Crypto gang, it's the game, big gang, alt gang, light gang, cash game, blockchain. Whoa, I don't really ever buy stocks, man. No. Haters wanna say I'm in a bubble, man. No. Chew them up like bubble gum. No. Just made a meal with my pocket change. No. Wreck about to go and join the huddle gang. Huddle gang, huddle gang, huddle gang. Crypto gang, it's the game, big gang, alt gang, light gang, cash game, blockchain. Whoa, I don't really ever buy stocks, man. No. Haters wanna say I'm in a bubble, man. No. Chew them up like bubble gum. No. Just made a meal with my pocket change. No. Wreck about to go and join the huddle gang. Huddle gang, huddle gang, huddle gang. Ethereum pays for my rent. Bitcoin pays for the vent. Litecoin pays for the jet. Bitcoin cash for the rest. Spent 30 racks on an ICO. What coin did you buy? I forgot, yo. Just got started last night, bro. And I'm already hooked like a pipe stove. Flipping the coin, making it grow, taking it slow, letting it go. Cash flow's growing, it's incredible to watch it flow. Stacking the cash, taking it home, making it fast. I'm on a roll. Little bit mo's all I ask for the bubble though. Currently learning about a new type of currency. Burning the dollar down like an emergency. Urgently, listen, my friends have been urging me. Coins have been surging, we're earning like surgency. We on a mission, man. Crypto maniac. Act like you don't really know about it. Stop that. Bitcoin blowing up like a bomb. Step back. Used to be a couple $100. Should've copped that. Blew up on a scene from the mind of a brainiac. Back in 2009, where the miners at? Silk Road, baby, it's gotta be anonymous. Satoshi blew up, now we on the map.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are back at it again for another episode of Crypto Portfolio Updates. First and foremost, shout out to the bag chasers. We got an addition. Shout out to the family over at Circa 84. That's right, your boys over on Circa 84 now. So it's the bag chasers and Circa 84 who will be getting this information first and foremost and ahead of time. It's kind of my way of saying thank you to Big Kev over there for bringing me in. Going to be a busy Sunday, so we are recording in the morning. So good morning. Shout out to the bag chasers. Shout out to the family over at Circa 84. We'll be getting a link to join up over at Circa 84 down in the descriptions. Hopefully by the time this goes to the general public. And what's Circa 84? It's a community of like-minded individuals that are out getting that bag. It is definitely 100% into the weeds, into different ways to make money in multiple different markets, and they have decided that it is time for them to step into this crypto sphere. And instead of doing like what Earn Your Leisure and some of these other cats do, which is just get in there to remain relevant, they actually found somebody to speak on that knows what they're talking about, that's been in the market for 10 years. So kudos to them. So you guys will be getting it first. To the rest of the Wolf Pack, you will be getting this. The Wolf Pack and the general public, you will be getting this Wednesday. Hold on, I gotta look at the calendar. I always have to look at the calendar. I never know what day it is because literally this is the first day that I'm not working a lot of hours. So I'm playing catch up. This is my day to play catch up on everything. Be Wednesday the 22nd. We going into turkey season. You know, we're about to get that food. We doing some stuff. I don't even know when Thanksgiving is. I just know that I'm supposed to go eat a bunch. We're going to get caught up because, you know, the Wolf Pack, we always hungry. With that said, we're going to jump into the topics that we have for today. These videos over the next few weeks, few months, are going to be very concise. They're going to be very targeted. Reason being, I don't have time to ramble because I am exhausted because we were working a lot. Obviously, there's any time that there's bonus money, extra money, you go like when I see them checks up on the board, I'm looking at money bags and I'm aiming to get all of them. So my time is very constrained right now, which actually is good for the content because it forces me to focus in. I have to focus in. I have to be really specific. I have to be really strategic. I have to be concise. With that said, what we're doing is we are going to be dialing into specific topics, especially going into the bull run. So this episode they're going to be dual topics. Going to be two easy ones. We're keeping the top 10. We're going to keep majority of the format. We're just trimming off the fat. we're jumping in to the bull run season. One of the things that you'll hear some of the OGs like myself who've been around for over 10 years, going on 12 years, whatever, it is what it is, that will tell you is don't forget to take your profits. One of the things you'll hear out of me is I don't take profits personally. So for me, taking profits is different than what some of you guys will be taking profits into, because I don't believe in taking money out of this market just yet. That's just me. Probably not for another, it's retirement. It's like we're looking at another 10, 12 years, something like that, whenever I decide I'm sick and tired of coming into work. Or, well, the goal is I leverage myself into something where I'm not sick and tired of coming into work. But in general, if you're investing in any space, they always tell you to take your profits. That's one of the things that, they always tell you to do. So we're going to talk about on this episode what that looks like, because taking profits for me does not look necessarily like what taking profits for your average person would be. Because I don't actually leave the market. I convert into longs. So I'll just walk away with more Bitcoin and Ethereum, and whatever that drops to, I'll ride that drop. But for the rest of you, it's knowing not to hold indefinitely. And so that's what we're going to touch on today, because people hold through the bull run. They'll get stuck in these coins that they think are just going to continue to go up indefinitely because they've gone up 1,000, 1,500, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000%. And they think it's going to ride out forever. And then they never think the gravy train's going to stop. They think it's just a straight line up and there's no retracements and there's no crash. Well, there is retracement, there is crash. So that's what we're going to talk about. But before we do that, let's get into the fun stuff. We're going to refresh the top 5 gainers and losers, because I know this is important. It's fun to see during the bull run. It's extra fun to see right now. Oh, and dang, it's just out, but we got some stuff to talk about. The almost cold is still here. On the gainers, we're going to start with the gainers. Look at this, healthy pre-bull run gains. This is looking good, people. I'm liking it. I'm liking what I'm seeing. At number 1, at rank 375, we have AOZ Network, AIOZ, with a gain of 143.1% in the past 24 hours. At number 2, at rank 518, we have Xenon, ZNN, with a gain of 95.7% in the past 24 hours. At number 3, we have Playa 3, which I think the 3 is supposed to be a bull. Playa Bull Games, 3ULL, which has had a gain of 68.8% in the last 24 hours. At number 4, at rank 538, we have Image Generation AI, IMGNAI, with a gain of 55% in the last 24 hours. And rounding out the end of the top 5, we have, actually, let me make sure you're not hiding behind my head. Oh, yeah, we're good. We're good. We have, rounding out the end of the top 5, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have Shadow Token, SHDW, with a gain of 50.7% in the last 24 hours. Now, healthy list. Jumping over, oh, Jesus Christ. Ain't even on that list no more. Quit lying. Jumping over to the biggest losers in the last 24 hours, which this list is minuscule. This is almost a petty list. That's how good the bull run is. You got a petty list. Everything's under 20%. Starting off with number 1, we have at rank 737, we have District OX DNT with a loss of 19.7% in the last 24 hours. At number 2, at rank 354, we have Blocks CDT with a loss of 18.5% in the last 24 hours. At number 3, we have Kyber Network Crystal Legacy, KNCL with a loss. Oh, jeez. Good Lord. Why does it keep doing that? With a loss of 16.8% in the last 24 hours. At number 4, not last, we have at rank 794, we have Zignali, ZIG, with a loss of 14.3% in the last 24 hours. At number 5, rounding out the end of the list, we have Civic, CVC, at a rank of 298 with a loss of 13.2% in the last 24 hours. Now, there is a coin at number 6 that we could see here that is on next year's portfolio. Means we might have to start looking at getting into position. Give you a bonus. Number 6, we have Thorchain, RUN, which is at rank 39, and they have had a loss of 13.5% in the last 24 hours. Reason I find that interesting, whenever I see those coins that are on the portfolio that are in the targeting reticle, I start looking because like maybe I need to start getting some jumps. That's what I'm thinking. I always find it interesting when it's not like a super dump over there. I'm like, cool, like that might be a better entry point because that is not only in the list, that is also going to be one of our income generating positions within the Thor Wallet Dex app. We're always looking for a good deal to run the numbers up. But that's the top 5 gainers and losers. I'm definitely hoping that everyone in the wolf pack is on the gainer side because that we are out here trying to find opportunities to move ahead, to move the needle forward, to better our situations. I certainly do not wish the wolf pack to be on the top loser side because that goes counter against our ethos. But understanding how the markets work and understanding that we're going into a bull run season, and I understand that some of you are going to be taking some of those wild swings, wilder swings than myself. We're gonna end up over here. It's just gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You're not gonna not hit this at least once. It's just what it is. You're gonna touch that third rail every once in a while. Just hope you haven't sunk your entire portfolio into the third rail play. Going on to the next, we're going to look at the portfolio because obviously this is crypto portfolio updates. That is the ethos of the show. We follow through the portfolio. We are still up 48.6% into the green. That is wonderful. That is what we like to see. We love the spikes. But the retracements, when you retrace back and it's still in the green, that's good. You can see the pie chart here with the breakdown of what we're holding. Also good. You know, we're sitting over here. We're pretty happy, pretty pleased with our positioning. Let's get into the top 10 because it has moved around this week. Okay, hold on. We got to bring this back down. Oh, Jesus. I think I just made it worse. There we go. Are we at 100? Is this 100? Oh, Jesus. Okay, we're going to go in a little bit. Jesus, Lord. Okay. Now, top 10 sitting healthily in the green. We're going to start off, obviously, Ethereum, Big Daddy. We're accumulating Ethereum. We're trying to get our 32 Ethereum. That was one of our retirement goals so that we can put it into the retirement cold storage. We are not quite there yet, but we are getting there. Actually, we're just not quite there yet. We're just on the road. It's what it is. Number 2, Synthetics Network, number 2 position. We're in the process of figuring out how to tear that down. We've got 2 weeks left to go ahead and get our loan back. We got to figure out what we're needing and what gets skirted over to the next year's portfolio. Number 3, we are looking at the original orange pill, Bitcoin, BTC. At number 4, USDC. At number 5, we're looking at NASDAQ's NSDX. At number 6, we're looking at Thor Wallet Dex, TGT. At number 7, we're looking at SUSD. At number 7, or at number 8, we're looking at Cosmos. Ugh. ATOM. At number 9, we're looking at Arbitrum, ARB. And at number 10, moved up into the number 10 position, we are looking at Camelot Token, GRAIL. And that's the top 10. We're happy with it. We've had some movements around because the market has been fluctuating, agitating, and gyrating. Things are moving. And we're having a good old time as we're navigating through these retracements, navigating through these booms, navigating through these miniature busts. Remember, people, the bull run is not a straight line up. It is a violent roller coaster up. This is the reason I tell people, generally speaking, I don't try to play the market. This is why I don't trade in this market. This market taught me how ineffective trying to trade, trying to time the market was. You have to have a set plan. You buy up to a set price point. Then you let what's in the market ride in the market and you focus on other markets. Because once this gets ridiculous, it's going to be ridiculous. Now, me personally, my cutoff point is going to be 64,000. Once Bitcoin hits 64,000, which is our previous all-time high, I will probably not be focusing in on this market. And until then, that's the reason we're working as hard as we can. We're bringing in the bonus money. We're bringing in the salary money. We're bringing in any money that we can early. We're buying early because once it hits the previous all-time high, then that's going to be my range, which means it's going to have to pull back to that before I'm interested in buying again. That's for me. Some of you are going to buy the whole way up, which I understand. A lot of people dollar cost average the entire bull run. One of the things we're doing this year is we're not going to be doing that. I'm not buying the entire bull run this time around. I will focus on other markets. I will go ahead and build out my traditional finance portfolio and let the bull run, because then we'll just be waiting for our positions. We're going to have, hopefully by the time we get back to the previous all-time high, we might revisit this. If I don't get my income positions, I'm going to continue having to get my income positions handled. But overall, what I'm thinking is we're going to have enough time to get those income positions secured. We might just do them first. We'll see. But once we get that secured, I think that we can use the income coming off of those income positions, obviously, to reinvest in the market as well. But that's what we're looking to do. Now, keeping these concise, like I said, we're keeping them concise, quick hits, not a lot of rambling. But we're talking about the importance of cashing out. So while we have this up, obviously, this year I said we were going more conservative and our take profit points. Actually, and it's not necessarily a take profit point for me, it's when I recycle the play, is going to be 200% for this bull run. And normally in years prior, when I was swinging harder, it was 300%. But this year it's going to be 200%. So once a position hits 200% in profit, I will pull the initial investment of that position and recycle it into another position. Normally rolling into the initial part of the bull run, this play, if I pick well, obviously, depending on how the positions do, you get to roll this 2 or 3 times. So when you roll that initial profit into the next position, then you start that 200% timer again. And you wait for that to hit 200%. Now, what you're doing is you're leaving the rest of it in there to continue to play in the market. So then you have a staggering, well, when are you taking profits? Well, I actually pull profit. The next one would be 500%. Is when we will actually pull profit again. Actually, you know what? Now, it's going to be 200 and 400. 200, 400%. That's when you pull your initial investment out again. So you quadruple your money, take your money back, quadruple your money again. Now you're in profit. You start eating off of it. If you believe in it. Otherwise, some people might just be happy with cashing out at 400. It depends on how you're rocking it, but I think we're doing a 200, 400 play. That's what we're going to do. And then, you know, you doubled your money. You got to expand out into some other stuff. And hopefully we all get to see this play out multiple times. Multiple times. And hopefully some of you get the coveted 1,000% gains. And, you know, you get to see this play out a bunch of times. And you just get to eat off of it for the bull run. But we shall see. The important thing is that you have some sort of plan that you stick to. Otherwise, people will just ride these bull runs to the end. And then they're sad. And then you see them talking about they mortgaged their house. They didn't pay their house mortgage back because they had no exit. I mean, in a 200% environment, 200% ain't uncommon. We're seeing tokens now in the pre-bull run. We're not even fully into this yet. And we're seeing on our top 5 winners and losers days where there's multiple projects that are over 100% in 24 hours. Bags get run up like that on that level pretty quick. Like that can be quick. And people don't take their profits out, especially if you're leveraging. If you're leveraging, you have to go conservative. I mean, honestly, in some cases, if you're leveraging, you getting wild with it, 100% should be your demarcation point to get your leverage, the loan money back to pay back what you borrowed. So that way you ain't got to worry about losing your out. But people don't do that. They wait till the bull run's over and then sit in their car crying about how they're going to lose their house because they can't pay the note that they pulled out on it. After they sat on thousands of percent in gains, running their mouths and not handling their responsibility. And that's the reason I tell people, if you're not financially literate, then being in these markets where you're going to get life-changing money isn't going to help you because you're just going to be broke again because you don't understand how money works. You will end up right back where you were. And in most cases, worse, because you will try to take shortcuts, not understanding how money works, not understanding how leveraging works, and you won't cover your assets. Let that play back. You won't cover your assets. You got to be strategical out here, people. You have to understand the game that you're playing. Like the Gucci belt, the Gucci glasses, the robes, the sports cars, the 3-piece suits, the image that your gurus are putting forth to you are very surface level on how money works. They're giving you half-truths. And that's the reason I understand. Most of them will urge to not use anything but cash because most of you guys are too stupid to actually utilize the financial systems in the way that the wealthy do utilize it because you don't take the time to become educated and familiarized with it. So yeah, everything is scary. Guns are scary if you don't know how to use one. This financial game, we taking up different weapons. So yeah, all this can be scary in the wrong hands, 100%. So we're going to get into the news story that I got picked out for you because that's going to be the last part of this. And let's take a look here. It seems like a reoccurring story. And this is the first episode that I didn't name the episode after the news article. And the reason being is the topics therein, I wanted to keep myself focused on the topics. So some of these episodes, some of them might be named after the news story. Some of them might be on the topic. I'm thinking it'll probably be on the topic because when I'm recording for you guys, I can look and remind myself to stay on topic because I can see the topic. But the story is from Forbes. It says the U.S. and Forbes has been... Forbes has been kind of giving y'all a warning. Like I kind of got to tip a hat to Forbes because even though they're doom and glooming you, they're doom and glooming you in the right direction. So somebody over at Forbes is trying to help you normies. And, you know, kudos to them for putting in the work to continually give you guys the nuggets. And hopefully some of you guys pick them up, dust them off, and realize that they're gems and act accordingly. It says the US dollar collapse acceleration, 33.7 trillion, shock Fed inflation warning makes the bullish case for Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and crypto price surge. Because obviously people will be running from their deflationary states into less risky assets. Now, we have looked, and the data is in on this. Gold is no longer an inflation hedge. You old boomers, and I understand, some of you have gold. Some of you do have gold. And I understand that, like, when you have something, you got to try to defend it because you bought it and you don't want to admit that it's a terrible investment. I get it. But the information is, the data is in on that. Like, if you would have bought $1 worth of Bitcoin back in 2013, or was it 2010? It's probably 2010. And then at that same time, you bought $1 worth of gold. The gold today, boomers and old people and people who think gold has some sort of value in today's market, the gold is now worth, through all that time, is now worth $1.94. That's not beating inflation, my friends. The Bitcoin, however, you would be in the millions of dollars. That is beating inflation. I mean, it's just math. Does gold have value? 100%. We use it in semiconductors. There's a bunch of places that use gold, but apparently the value of gold amongst people, because I don't think the semiconductor people are buying your gold. Like, I really don't. I think the gold that's being traded amongst people is actually just being traded amongst people. Like, the semiconductor chip companies aren't going to the local pawn shop to buy out all the gold so that we can continue to have semiconductors. So the market of the resource that you guys are even using isn't even being touched by the backing of what its value is supposed to be. Because you guys are getting 94 cents in appreciation of the value for the amount of gold that you purchased in 2010. It's climbed 94 cents. That's not beating inflation, because your dollar is worth less than $1.94 right now over that same time period window, much less. So people aren't going there. I mean, people who can do math are not going there. It's bulky. It's not saving you from anything. Like, you would have been better off buying the S&P 500 over that time span. That's a better hedge than gold, because that's gone up in value. I think that we're seeing a generational shift in what's valuable, but I also think we're seeing a mathematical shift in what's valuable. And for some odd reason, boomers do not like to do math. And I think it's because you guys don't like to change, which is fine. I understand that too. But as I always say, the future's coming whether you believe in it or not. And for most of you, the future's here. Like, it's here. Like, there's I mean, bullets, bourbon, and what else? Meat. All of those things are worth more over that time period. Like, there's so many other tangibles. Like, you better off buying rounds than gold at this point, people, because those are, I mean, just position yourself. Like, I don't see how having a cache of gold is useful at this point, because the value prop isn't there. But outside of that, this article had a couple of points that I wanted to point out that were by the great Ray Dalio. And for those of you who don't know what or who he is the founder and CEO of Vanguard. Yeah, like all the good mutual funds, all of them, all the good ETFs, all of them. One of the best. He out there competing with BlackRock head to head, algorithms, doing all sorts of crazy stuff on the back end of the traditional markets that you or I, as normies in that market, cannot do. We can't compete with Ray Dalio. Ray Dalio doesn't even compete in the market himself anymore, and he'll tell you that. He's got algorithms for that are way better than humans. But I digress. So one of the points that he stated in this article was that we are at the point of acceleration. We are at the point of that acceleration, which creates the supply-demand problem. It's made worse by other issues that we're talking about. The internal political issue, the internal social conflict issue. This is becoming a balloon issue, and it's touched on everything. And as I've said multiple times over on Guns and Butter, tap in on Thursday evenings at around 7:30 Central Time, and Future Financial Strategies, which releases early Thursday evening. Normally, I'd say we're going to shoot for around 3 p.m. for a launch time on that consistently moving forward as a pre-show to Guns and Butter. That we are under financial attack. I got into the crypto space, and the reason I am such an advocate is because it is a space in which everyone, regardless of race, religion, creed, sexual orientation, any of the victim tokens that you want to throw out, are allowed to compete. And they don't like that, because if you're not starving and broke and hungry and victimized and needing diversity, equity, and inclusion, you're not going to listen to them. If things are good in your world, it's a lot harder to control you. And they don't want you to have a chance to make it better. So they're constantly attacking your buying power. They constantly want to keep throwing in your face that you're never going to buy a house. But they don't want to tell you that the reason is because they're taking more of your money and shipping it offshore to help people that don't live in this country, that have no loyalty to this country, that have no kinship to this country besides them wanting our money. And they're diluting your buying power. And it's not necessarily that your taxes are going up, but inflation is going up because they're not taking physically money out of your bank account to send over there. They're printing money, which makes your money worth less. So that means when you go to the store, everything's 20 to 50% more, just kind of like what it is now. And prices don't go down. So when they tell you inflation's going down, the price on your food doesn't. What happens is the price on your food then goes up slower from that point forward. Most of y'all don't understand that. There's going to be no point where eggs are going to go back in price. They're not going to do that. What they're doing is stealing your buying power, and then they're using it as a political tool to galvanize you into thinking the way that they want you to think, acting the way that they want you to act, and protesting when they tell you. But I digress. Me being a total financial anarchist that I am, I understood Bitcoin immediately. Level playing field. Everyone gets to compete. Feast or famine. These things make sense. Uncontrollable. Government can't turn off your bank account. Government can't keep you from transacting. The government can't remove you from society, if you would. And it makes sense. And I like this space. I like this space the way that it is, even with the regulation coming. I'm like, well, those of us who are already in it, whatever, dude. Like, we have the ability to navigate, and I believe that America is already experiencing. Like, I've been out on these YouTube streets, and I always look at other content. Like, there's a whole movement of people that are just straight up saying the American dream isn't possible in America anymore because of what they've done with the policy, what they're doing with your money. The intelligent people, the people who know how money works, are leaving. America is experiencing a brain drain, a massive brain drain. And if they want to come at this space to put the rest of the American citizens who aren't already awake in a continual vice grip because they're trying to make this space as close to what it used to be so that they can control you as possible, then those of us who are hip to the game will just be other places. We'll contribute our intellect, our ingenuity to other places. That's just the reality of the situation. Like, nobody's going to sit because of comfort and voluntarily be enslaved. That's not America. That's not the ideal of what we do. Now, I understand it's the ideal of what they're pushing on to the masses now, to comply, to walk with your head down, to accept what they give you and be thankful that they gave it to you, and to need them. But the original American ethos, at least from what I was told growing up, was pick yourself up by your bootstraps. Do what you can. Do the best you can. Don't be reliant on anyone but yourself and your family. And you know, I might be the last generation, but it resonated with me. It made sense. And I've moved accordingly ever since. The second piece of this article that was a solid point that I wanted to have for this show is this one. The government is going to have to continually and increasingly issue more debt to fund their previous debt payments, similar to an individual taking out a new credit card to pay off the old credit card balance transfers. Those of you who are deep in the credit card game, you know about the balance transfers. Clement said, monetary debasement is mathematically programmed. For those of you who don't understand what monetary debasement is, this is the part that I wanted to get into. And this is going to be the second topic, which is it's take your profits, a reminder to take your profits. But then for those of you who cash out, it's cash out into what? And the reason I say cash out into what is because of exactly what Clement said in this article, who was also interviewed along with Ray Dalio. Monetary debasement is mathematically programmed because the system, the way that they have it set up, the way that the United States monetary system is set up, the way most monetary systems are set up, it's cycling debt. It's a debt cycle. Now I'm going to give you the definition of what monetary debasement is. Monetary debasement refers to the deliberate reduction of the intrinsic value of a currency, typically through the issuance of additional money printing, or by reducing the amount of precious metals such as gold or silver in coins. Now, in America, we are well past the removal of the precious metals, but we know that this country prints money. Over the past 5 years, we've printed more money than in the history of the currency. I'm going to read that back to you again. Monetary debasement refers to the deliberate reduction in the intrinsic value of a currency, typically through the issuance of additional money. They intentionally and deliberately reduce the value of our currency over COVID by printing more money than has been printed in the history of us having this money that we use. This process results in the erosion of purchasing power of the currency, meaning that each unit of currency buys fewer goods and services than it did before. Those of you who are having trouble paying rent, those of you who are complaining on TikTok about how everything's expensive, how you get 2 things in your cart and it's $100 at Walmart. That was intentionally done. Let me put it a little more simply for you, for those of you in the back, so that you can explain it to your kids. Imagine you have a bag of candy, and each piece of candy is like a coin in your pocket. Now, let's say someone decides to make more candy or change the candy's recipe, so each piece becomes a little bit smaller. That means you still have the same number of candies, but each one is worth a little bit less. Now, when I talk about cashing out into what, this is what I'm talking about. And the reason I come at it from this angle is people are always asking me when I'm going to cash out. And I'm like, well, if I can't find another asset to put it into, I don't want a bunch of dollars because that would be stupid. When your guru tells you that cash is king, that is also still stupid. That's something that you tell poor people to get them to believe in the system. And we tell the truth over here in the Wolf Pack. That's also one of the perks of having a smaller, non-monetized channel. I'll give you guys all the gems early, and then we can go back. And then after we have to play ball, we'll figure it out from there. They're telling you that cash is king because they need you to participate. If everyone knew what I know, what a lot of the other wealthy people know, who are profiting off of you and not with you, and they're also not trying to help you, and they don't want you helped. They don't want people like me talking to you. If everybody understood how the sausage was made, no one would participate. Or the participation would definitely be vastly different. They would have a bunch of reckless Ray Dinero participants who are going to be stunningly great, but inherently at odds and always looking for an exit. Who's working for themselves. Some people have to believe in this for it to work, because as much as they like to say Bitcoin functions on imagination and it's pretend, this system is the biggest simulation that we've ever been a part of. Somebody's got to make the burgers and somebody's got to dip those fries for us to get them, at least until they get the machines ready to do it, because then all the burgers and fries are going to be perfect. But for this system to work, you have to have people believe in it. That's the reason they keep telling you that cash is king. And we keep having beef and arguments. And normally the argument just boils down to, well, I have more stuff than you, so listen to me. Not, hey, maybe you should look at your account and your ability to buy stuff and see if your life's getting better, because it's not. Holding all the cash in the world. Go ahead, save up cash for a house. Let me know when you get to that set point to where you just buy a house straight up cash, if you're not already rich, or you didn't get some sort of inheritance or some influx of a massive amount of money. Just working your 9 to 5. It's not possible for the majority of people by design, but they tell you cash is king. Is it king if you can't buy anything for cash? Or if things are constantly going up in value so that you have to spend it or you lose it? Like, cash is not king. Wealthy people are not sitting on cash. They have throw around flex cash that they put in the face of poor people like yourselves to make you think that they're doing something with cash. Most wealthy people, they either own a business, a lot of assets, have high income that they are investing actively in one of those things, or they're in crypto. Hey, salute. 14 years we've been here. They're building assets. I mean, the people who flash the flashy things in front of your face even give you the gems. They're telling you that their Rolexes are tax write-offs because their channels are monetized and they can write it off. But you're out there going out there trying to buy a Rolex at full price with no write-off. They're telling you the cars that they flex on you with are tax write-offs. They're giving you the gem hidden in there, but you guys get stuck on the stuff. So when I say cash out into what, I'm like, so you're going to cash out Bitcoin because you don't want to ride through the dip for money that you don't need to go have dollars that are going to continually go down in value on purpose because the government hates you. So I mean, at this point, we can't think anything less. Like, our government does not value and this is for my American people that are in this country with me. These people no longer represent us. And there's nothing that unless you're one of the marginalized groups that's actually getting a benefit out of the hellscape that we have created in this country, which is basically two. It's two groups. The government doesn't represent us, and they're representing those two groups at the expense of everyone else in this country, while they're actively gutting this country financially, because even those groups are getting affected by that because they're not getting money in any meaningful sense that's going to help them keep up. Our power is being taken from under our feet, and these people do not care about us. So when I say cash out into what, I mean, that's a legitimate question. What do you cash out into? I mean, personally, last time I cashed out was into property. Another asset. Like, if I can't find an asset to go into, then for me, it's just logical to hold on to the thing that goes back up versus the thing that goes down indefinitely. Now, I could see the understanding of like, yo, I'm going to take a break. You cash out, hold a pool of cash, and then buy back in on the dip, but then you're trying to time the market. I'm not good at that. Doesn't make sense. I'd rather ride the wave. A lot easier for me. It's just something to think on. I mean, these are obviously, I've given my thoughts on this, but I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are. So tap in with me down in the comments and let's talk about it. What are y'all, those of you who plan to cash out, what are you going to cash out into? Are you just going to hold a big pile of dollars? Are you looking at other asset classes? If so, let's talk about it down in the comments, because I'm not going to not hold the possibility that I could be a little bit off, but I've never seen in the past 14 years an opportunity where if I would have cashed out, it would have been beneficial to me at all, based on math. So with that said, it's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We still got to crank. Oh, good. These focus episodes are still in the pocket, so we're still good. I'm about 45 minutes, which is what I was looking for. But yeah, tap in with me down in the comments. Let me know what you think. It's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero. And until next week, I am out.
Cryptocurrency, currency. She love cryptocurrency. Me have a hot sexy girl. Whoa. Tip jar. She wanna go down and she dips her. She love dancehall and calypso. She don't wanna cash, she wanna crypto. Me have a hot sexy girl, just a tip jar. She wanna come up and she dips her. She love dancehall and calypso. She don't wanna cash, she wanna crypto. Decentralized like a blockchain. Anyway you see me, girl, you know it not gonna stop rain. Pull up in the Beamer or the Benz or the Bentley. Cryptocurrency, that's what we spending. We not in a lending. No for them a snake, yo. We not in a renting. Bad mind fussy them. Once see we ending. Grinding out with Facebook. Call that pretending. Now left me 9 milli. Girl, so we trending. Me have a hot sexy girl, just a tip jar. She wanna go down and she dips her. She love dancehall and calypso. She no wanna cash, she wanna crypto. Me have a hot sexy girl, just a tip jar. She wanna come up and she dips her. She love dancehall and calypso. She no wanna cash, she wanna crypto. She love cryptocurrency, cryptocurrency. She love cryptocurrency. Made a mass wallet. Cryptocurrency.